Daniel's a different fighter, but let's not make no mistakes about this. He's fighting one of the best fighters. So he has to do something amazing to win this fight. You know, do you understand? So he has to go in there and do something which has never been done before.
Yeah.
It's a tough ask, of course. You know, the thing with Usyk is he doesn't depend on his power to knock you out. He depends on his skill. That's why it's a tough ask, because he's going to box rings around you.
You know, jabs, using lateral movement.
Heavyweight boxing pros are weighing in on the highly anticipated rematch between Oleksandr Usyk and Daniel Dubois. Derek Chisora believes Daniel must rely more on his jab and approach this fight differently than their first encounter. He emphasizes that beating Usyk requires not just physical strength, but also mental sharpness, suggesting that unless Dubois makes key changes, Usyk will likely win again. However, Chisora does leave room for an upset if Daniel fights smarter. While his comments lean in Usyk's favor, they also reflect hope that Dubois can surprise everyone if he brings a sharper strategy to the ring.
What I'm saying is this, yeah. To beat Oleksandr Usyk, you have to be mentally disturbed in your head. Yeah?
You have to be mentally disturbed.
Yeah, because you have to understand.
Or to take the fight in the first place.
Yeah, because when I saw him a couple of months ago,
yeah.
I had a coffee with him, we were just chatting. The guy lives in Ukraine.
Yep.
Yeah. He goes, oh, before I came on the plane, I was sleeping in my house, and then those missiles were going over my house, and I didn't want to go in the bunker. I was like, oh, I'll just go to sleep. There's some craziness, isn't it? I mean, like, imagine you now, you're in your house in Barna, Timbuktu, and then missiles are going. What are you gonna be like?
Yeah, he's cut from very different stuff.
Yeah, exactly. So, and then remember,
Anthony Joshua gives a detailed breakdown of what went wrong for Daniel Dubois in his first fight against Oleksandr Usyk, and why the rematch will be a true test. He describes Usyk as a very good and tricky opponent, especially because of his southpaw stance, which throws off orthodox fighters like Dubois. According to Joshua, Daniel couldn't get his jab or right hand going, two of his biggest strengths, because southpaws stand further back, making it difficult to land clean shots.
Generation, you know, he done really well to go up against him and push Oleksandr Usyk in certain ways. Oleksandr Usyk's a good opponent. The thing where Daniel struggled, obviously, with southpaw, Daniel couldn't get his jab off, which is one of his main weapons, and his right hand off, because a southpaw, they're a bit further back because their stance is different. So you have to kind of counter with the right hand, and Daniel couldn't get his main weapons off, so he struggled a little bit. But it's cool. Came back, beat Jerome Miller, big, strong, heavy guy. Beat Filip Hrgovic, who was apparently the boogeyman of the division. So he's done well to be in this position now after that. He's done well. Oleksandr Usyk fight, unlucky, came up short, but he's done well to bounce back.
Do you think it was a legal shot against Usyk or not?
I don't know. It's not. It don't matter what I say. It don't matter. What do you think?
I thought it was very close.
That inability to use his main weapons played a big role in his struggle. However, Joshua also credits Dubois for how he responded to that loss. He highlights Daniel's wins over big names like Jarrell Miller and Filip Hrgovic, both of whom were seen as dangerous opponents. Joshua says that despite the setback against Usyk, Dubois has done well to rebuild and earn this second chance, showing growth and mental toughness.
You.
I think it's on referee's discretion. I think if some referees call it legal...
So your opinion doesn't matter then?
I think more people are more interested in your opinion.
But I'm interested in yours.
If the referee called it legal...
No. You.
Either way, I think. Either way. Because some could argue Usyk wears his shorts high.
You.
I'll say it was legal.
It was legal?
We can call it legal.
Illegal?
No, legal.
Okay, legal.
Oh, yeah, you must have an opinion as well.
Probably legal. It's a fight. You get hit round the belt, you get hit round the leg. I think it is what it is. He got hit and he went down. Legal.
Oleksandr Usyk is entering the rematch with a clear and focused mindset. Rather than dwelling on what happened in his first fight against Daniel Dubois, Usyk makes it clear that he views that chapter as closed. He's not interested in replaying past moments or defending what's already been judged by fans and officials. Instead, he's channeling all his energy into the present. Usyk believes that the upcoming fight is an entirely different situation, and he has been preparing accordingly. His approach is disciplined and forward-looking, treating this as a new challenge. For him, there's no emotional baggage from the previous match, only the drive to perform at the highest level again.
All situation. But I not think about my first fight because it was in the past. Now we have a new fight. Maybe, I don't know, but I not think about this. Maybe Daniel do it again, but for me it doesn't matter because it's God's will. But I ready. I training long time. I have good protect in my both. Doesn't matter.
Do they think too much about the past?
Eddie Hearn offers a perspective that adds depth to the ongoing narrative of the rematch. As someone who's managed and promoted multiple world title fights, Hearn evaluates both the technical and promotional sides of this rematch. He points out that there's a lot at stake, especially with the way things ended previously. According to Hearn, the pressure on both fighters is immense, but especially on Dubois, who must prove he belongs at the elite level. He hints at how Daniel's preparation might have evolved and credits his team for putting together the right strategies.
First fight, that was a low blow or not? I don't actually know your opinion.
I did. I mean, personally, I keep seeing the photos. You know, at the time of the punch, I believe it was low. Was it borderline? Yes. Were his trunks high? Maybe. So, for me, I did think that it was below the shorts. Where's the navel? Where's all this kind? Was it Louis Pabon? Was he the referee?
Correct.
You know, does he have to say, look, we can't see your navel, you got to pull your shorts down?
He didn't do any of that.
No, but that's what I'm saying. You know,
Don't mention his name around Frank.
Oh, Louis Pabon. Okay.
Whatever you do, don't mention.
But one thing I will say is, Usyk don't like it to the body, and he was probably lucky. Because even if it was 3 or 4 inches higher, I think it would have had the same effect that it had.
And it would have gone on.
It didn't hit him in the nuts, put it that way.
When he went on Piers Morgan, didn't they, a couple of weeks ago after the fight, and they played it back, and it was here, it was right there. That's where it was. You see it on there. All the photographs. It depends where they decide they want to stop, where the punch is coming from, and where it lands. But listen, do you know what? All of that now is irrelevant. He's got to, Daniel, on the 19th, what he's got to do the 19th of July is show what he's all about. He knows that he can hurt him. And Usyk knows that as well.
He's a completely different fighter now.
He is. Well, they said it, their team.
When Usyk and Dubois first met in 2023, the bout did not end without debate. The moment that defined the match was a punch. Dubois landed to Usyk's midsection, which was ruled a low blow by the referee. That call immediately sparked division across the boxing world. Some believed it was a fair body shot, while others defended the referee's decision. This moment overshadowed what was otherwise a hard-fought contest and left a sense of unfinished business between the two heavyweights.
Actually, go and look at the...
Two of them, just to correct you there, and I agree with the judges on this, 2 of the judges gave him the 4th round. 1 of the judges gives him the 5th round, which is the low blow round. The 4th round, 2 of the 3 judges give the 4th round to Dubois, not the 5th.
Yeah, but one of the judges did give him the 5th.
Yes, they did, yeah. One of them did give him the 5th, yeah.
Which I disagree with. I actually thought that Usyk got off the deck and gave him a bit of a pasting in the final sessions of that 5th round. Listen, he lost comprehensively. We had, what, 8 completed rounds. Usyk won at least 6 of them.
Correct.
At least.
Correct.
So when you're talking about the gap between the guys, I thought it was really, really wide. But Don Charles, the team, whoever's been around Daniel Dubois,
Kieran Farrell's played a massive part in it.
Getting inside his head to convince him, you nearly had him.
Yeah.
You nearly had him.
Yeah.
To get him, it doesn't matter whether I believe it or, Tom, Dick, or Harry down the road believes it or any fan believes it. We all saw what we saw. As long as Daniel Dubois believes what is being told.
The tension between the fighters became more visible during the official face-off. Daniel Dubois appeared more aggressive and direct than ever, sending a clear message with his body language and comments. His behavior during the stare-down was interpreted by many as an attempt to rattle Usyk, who is usually calm and composed. The moment escalated quickly, making it evident that the rematch is not just about belts, it's personal now. This sudden spike in hostility has only intensified the anticipation surrounding July 19th. Whether it was genuine disrespect or a calculated psychological tactic, Dubois succeeded in shifting attention toward the emotional buildup of the bout. The face-off has now added an extra layer of narrative that makes this rematch even more dramatic and unpredictable.
I can't wait for Oleksandr Usyk to teach Daniel Dubois a lesson in the rematch that's taking place Saturday, July 19th at Wembley Stadium. Oleksandr Usyk and Daniel Dubois have a face-off to promote their fight. Now take a look at this. Listen. Daniel Dubois pushes Oleksandr Usyk and then goes and calls him a pussy. I find it quite funny when a quitter calls someone else a pussy. Huh? Make it make sense, because Daniel Dubois, yeah, you've come off a few good losses, but we have to remind the peoples your true nature. When shit gets tough, you quit. Look at that fight between you and Joe Joyce, you quit. The fight against Oleksandr Usyk, you quit. And for you to go and disrespect Oleksandr Usyk, one of the greatest boxers of our eras. Yeah, the man is so humble inside the ring and outside the ring. You are going to get taught a lesson. Now, when Oleksandr Usyk beat Tyson Fury, Daniel Dubois jumped into the ring and started begging for a rematch. I honestly believe you disrespected Oleksandr Usyk then, because that was his moment, that was his time to shine, and then you came along and messed everything up. Now, Oleksandr Usyk is going to teach you a lesson for that. Oleksandr Usyk is going to teach you a lesson for pushing him, and Oleksandr Usyk is going to teach you a lesson because you think you are the dog's bollocks right about now. Listen, I always like to support our own. I'm a Brit. I like to support British fighters. But listen, in this instance, in this case, in this up-and-coming fight, I am rooting for Oleksandr Usyk. I hope he teaches you a lesson and he reminds you of your place. Enough of me waffling. I want you guys to let me know in the comment section what you guys think of this fight. Bosh.
Promoter Frank Warren has shown firm belief in Daniel Dubois ahead of the rematch. He emphasizes that Dubois has matured significantly and looked sharp in his last 3 outings. Warren describes Usyk as one of the greatest boxers of this generation, which makes the challenge even more meaningful. The confidence he expresses isn't just promotional talk. It reflects the strategic adjustments and mental growth Dubois has reportedly undergone. According to Warren, if Daniel manages to beat Usyk, it would be one of the most significant achievements in recent heavyweight history. He frames the fight as not just a chance for victory, but for history to be made.
You're a little bit bolder than that, aren't you?
Yeah, I think if Daniel can do what he's done in his last 3 fights, I think he can win the fight. I'm very confident in him, and you're going to get a good Usyk anyway. You know, Usyk's a consummate professional. You know, it's not like he backed out the fight. He wanted the fight, so he obviously and his team believe in him. But and that's why it's going to be such a good match. But I think that Daniel knows he can hurt him, and what I think, and I hope they're overlooking, Daniel can box a bit as well. He's not a one-trick pony. He's not just smash and bash. He's got a great jab, and he can box.
Derek Chisora joined Simon on Top Boxing yesterday, and of course Derek Chisora has stood in front, as many have and many failed, and he was one of them, facing up to Oleksandr in the ring. Derek offered some information on how Dubois might go about taking care of Usyk on the night, though. Frank, have a listen to Derek.
To beat Oleksandr Usyk, you have to be mentally disturbed in your head. Yeah?
You have to be mentally disturbed.
Yeah, because you have to understand.
Well, to take the fight in the first place.
Yeah, because when I saw him a couple of months ago, I had a coffee with him, we were just chatting. The guy lives in Ukraine. I was sleeping in my house, and then those missiles were going over my house, and I didn't want to go in the bunker. I was like, I'll just go to sleep. There's some craziness, isn't it? I mean, like, imagine you're in your house in Barna, Timbuktu, and then missiles are going. What are you gonna be like?
Yeah, he's cut from very different stuff.
Yeah, exactly. So, and then remember, so you have to come in there looking to go to the other side because he's looking to go to the other side.
What do you make of that, Frank? Usyk's a special case because of where he comes from and what he's lived through, according to Derek.
Yeah, it's been tough what what the whole country's going through. There's no doubt about that. But you know, Daniel's had a real tough upbringing himself. It's just been boxing. His dad took him out of school. He's homeschooled, and all he did was live and breathe boxing. So he doesn't know anything different than boxing. That's what he's been brought up to do. And now, feel that, you know, mentally he's really matured, and as I say, coming off of these great wins he's had, he's already shared the ring with Oleksandr, and he knows what he's got in front of him, and he's not phased at all. You know, he called out and wanted this fight. He wants revenge, and as I say, I believe in him. You know, if it's all about being mentally disturbed to beat him, I thought then Derek should have won.
The upcoming rematch is far more than just another boxing match. It's a major event in the heavyweight division. The stakes are monumental, with world titles and reputations on the line. Both fighters have a lot to prove. Usyk aims to defend his crown and shut down any remaining doubts, while Dubois seeks redemption and validation. This bout is being billed as a showdown that could reshape the pecking order in heavyweight boxing. Broadcasters, promoters, and fans are treating it as a marquee matchup, not only because of the belts involved, but also due to the layered backstory.
So the Oleksandr Usyk versus Daniel Dubois rematch is official, July 19th in Wembley Stadium for the undisputed heavyweight title. Now, I've said this before and I'll say it again. This rematch will be a lot more competitive than the first fight, and I love Usyk, but Dubois has gotten exponentially better in the last 2 years. In the first fight, he started off really well going to the body, but after the whole low blow controversy, he either lost some confidence or just started slowing down altogether, and then Usyk started picking him apart and got the stoppage. But since then, Dubois looked great defensively against Joshua. He kept his hands up more, walked him down, and kept landing his right hands. And say what you want about AJ, but nobody has ever steamrolled Joshua like that. Now Usyk, even at 38, I'm sure he'll still be the slight favorite. You know, having beaten Tyson Fury twice now for undisputed, and he makes great adjustments, and his footwork will still give Dubois a lot of trouble. But either way, massive fight for the heavyweight division. Usyk said he's got 2 fights left, so if he wins this one, maybe he fights someone like a Parker or Caballel in his last fight. And if Dubois wins, he can definitely force a trilogy for undisputed. But you guys let me know who you got in the big rematch.
Among fans and boxing experts, the consensus seems to tilt in favor of Oleksandr Usyk. Many see him as the superior technician, with a track record that includes wins over elite opponents in both cruiserweight and heavyweight divisions. Usyk's footwork, timing, and ring IQ are often cited as reasons why he's expected to come out on top again. His ability to adapt mid-fight and control the tempo makes him a difficult puzzle for any heavyweight. While many believe Usyk holds the edge, there's also a growing number of supporters who feel Dubois is entering the ring as a changed fighter. His recent performances have impressed those who were previously critical. Victories over strong contenders have rebuilt his reputation and restored faith in his potential. Observers point out that he now looks more composed, more accurate, and better conditioned than before. The mental aspect is also highlighted. Dubois seems to carry himself with a quiet confidence that wasn't visible earlier.
Belt, and in both fights, he won. So I think that statement, we can squash it. He's got an A plan, a B plan, a C, D, E, the full alphabet. I just believe despite the improvements Daniel's made, it's not enough. And the fact that Usyk's already got data on how to beat him, for Daniel having belief in coming up with a game plan is different to executing it. Ask everyone else, his previous opponents who've tried. Going into the fight, Usyk knows he can hurt Daniel. He's got better footwork, faster hands, and a better defense. He wants to hope that Usyk is aged overnight, lost his memory, and forgotten how to fight. Daniel's best chance is a puncher's chance. And by the way, I'm actually rooting for Daniel. I hope he can pull it off. It would be amazing at Wembley Stadium, especially for the British fans. It's what dreams are made of. I'm a fan of both men.
Tony Bellew, a former opponent of Usyk himself, gives a deep level of respect to the Ukrainian champion. He emphasizes how difficult it is to beat Usyk because he's faced every style imaginable in the ring. Whether it's taller fighters, more powerful punchers, or crafty veterans, Usyk has not only survived, but thrived. Bellew speaks from experience, having shared the ring with Usyk and feeling firsthand how unpredictable and composed he can be. According to him, Usyk's ability to read opponents and control the pace is what sets him apart. As fight night approaches, opinions remain split. Some fans and analysts are caught in the middle, recognizing the strengths both fighters bring. They argue that if Dubois can prevent Usyk from establishing rhythm early and disrupt his flow, the fight could swing in his favor. The key, many believe, lies in aggressive but controlled pressure, cutting off the ring, targeting the body, and making every round count. At the same time, there's respect for Usyk's ability to turn a fight around with his precision and movement. It's a rare kind of matchup where both outcomes feel entirely possible, and that unpredictability is exactly what makes this heavyweight battle so compelling.
To put more weight on his shots, I think he has the power to hurt Daniel Dubois. I certainly do that. And I think that If he's able to land on Dubois early and really start to build the lead and pepper him, as long as he's not had the wind taken out of his sails, Oleksandr Usyk is going to absolutely take over down the stretch. It might be the first couple of rounds are the most competitive rounds for Dubois and his best chance to strike. Because if you let Usyk get into a rhythm, you are screwed. So don't let Usyk get into a rhythm. If you can try and punch with Oleksandr Usyk, AJ had phenomenal success punching with Oleksandr Usyk in their respective fight. So that's what I think Dubois needs to do. Try and attack the body of Usyk legitimately, double up on the jab and try and punch with Usyk. Usyk, find that left hand, probe with that right hand. Go to Dubois' body as well, because Usyk's a very, very underrated body puncher, throws a great straight left hand to the body.
That's it for today's video. Stay tuned until next time.